I did like the vegan diet for like almost 2 years, and I think I've been off of it now for 8 months now.
Okay.
I've just been, been doing typical bodybuilding diet. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I can sit here and say that my physique is definitely a lot different now compared to at my peak when I was vegan per se.
How does it feel different?
It's not so much like I feel like I always feel the same. I'm not gonna lie, but like going back and looking at my pictures, I was a lot like more bloated.
Yeah. A lot of the guys, they built their strength and their mass through a regular bodybuilding diet, and then they changed and they maintained.
Exactly.
And they didn't go on. I think we talked about that too. You can't get in contest shape.
No.
You can't be really shredded on a vegan diet. Because you have
made
to
it
be,
actually really hard.
You have to be high in protein and still low in carbs or fats.
Right. I think everyone can agree that the practices of these factory farms and stuff is not necessarily the best. And I think that can be done differently or better in any way. But like, as far as the actual consuming of an animal for food and all these things, I think is perfectly fine. And it's like, it's what we've been doing since the beginning of time, and if we're gonna go towards like saying something about with God, if it wasn't allowed, then I don't think that the Bible would also like say something in the Bible about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
So,
but I also what people don't realize is that James Cameron, who made
he owns a vegan company.
Yeah, exactly. So James Cameron, det ham der har lavet Avatar og Terminator film og sådan noget. And he invested like $120 million, I think, into making this movie. And he owns like a production like vegan
pea protein company.
Yeah, exactly. Så han har et firma der producerer ærteprotein og alle mulige veganske proteinvarer, fødevarer. Så han har investeret så meget i filmen, så det er sådan lidt. People in Denmark are not used to lobbyism like that.
Oh man.
I think we're very like naive when it comes to that.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah.
You mean like propaganda of that kind?
Yeah, no way.
Oh man, it's everywhere, man. It's like you have to be able to see through the bullshit, and like if and the thing is, the way that film was created is very, how do I say, it's very convincing. Because if you don't know anything about nutrition, if you don't actually study and can actually look into some of these things, then you'll be like, holy shit, like what happened with me, man? Like, like even though I still knew a lot as far as like when it comes to like bodybuilding and such, man, like I allow the propaganda to like really get into my mind. And to be honest, it didn't even start that way. For me, it was more so just to try it. Just because like, I felt like it could be done. And
you wanted to prove something.
Yeah, exactly. But and then it's like, they get into your head, man. These vegans get into your fucking head.
So you're back on eating protein and you build up a lot of muscle?
Yeah.
And then you say, you've always been right on the verge of turning pro.
Right.
So now you like said like now it's the time to.
Oh, absolutely,
to go for it.
Absolutely. Because I didn't want to waste my time anymore. I could have done it again. I could have actually kept going with the whole vegan thing. But to be honest, man, I just don't want to waste my time with it. I'll try it again in the future, just for just experiment's sake, with no attachment towards any sort of ideology or anything. Because I mean, for me, I'm a scientific-minded person when it comes to all this, when it comes to nutrition, and I want to keep it that way. You have to always remain open-minded. You can never lean towards any sort of direction when it comes to nutrition.
I have two things I want to try. I want to try a keto diet, and I want to try intermittent fasting, like for real.
Dude, I love that.
At some point, but like right now, I'm like right after the contest. Every time I'm on a diet, I'm like thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a big long break from dieting and following a diet, and then like the day after, I was like, fuck this, I didn't win or anything, like let's go right back into it. So but now I'm pushing it again. My
plan is to try to get my pro card early in the year and then compete as a pro. I want to do at least 2 to 3 pro shows in the year. Like that's my goal, man. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking around anymore, man. I want to make sure.
So what's your weight now?
I'm like 270, so like 122.
122, 122 kilo. And I mean, you don't need to be heavier than that, really.
No, honestly, I don't want to get bigger. I've just been working on like getting stronger with my lifts and just really kind of like almost, just really maintaining right now, but just getting like focusing on the training and just falling in love with it and making sure that I'm progressing through my lifts and stuff. Because I feel like in order for your physique to actually progress, you have to progress through your lifting and get better. And our physiques are showing it, and that's where I feel like a lot of the guys, they started relying too much on supplements and not necessarily the training and the nutrition.
When you see a guy, I was watching, actually at the Nordic Pro, I was watching the Classic Physique guys. And these guys they're very good in the off season. They have full muscle bellies and everything. But then you can see, and I'm not usually looking at the guys' asses, but then you see the trunks. they go down here,
Yeah.
and there's nothing left here.
Nothing.
There's no ass left. It's like the chunks are just loose.
Yeah.
And that's from no squatting and no deadlifting.
That's it.
And you can tell when
No
you go
lunges.
on stage. Yeah.
You're not working those areas, man. It's
Yeah.
like you can see who's lazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I want everything to be
Yeah.
full
But you
and
don't have any weak points per se.
I don't know, man. I feel like my back is kind of weak. I feel like that if I do have a weak point, it would be my back, and that's something that. But whenever I get leaner and I'm in contest shape, it stands out. It's still like it's nice and bubbly.
Yeah.
So it's you know, I think it's just more so like that's the one area I really want to focus and get better because I think when I turn pro, that'll be the part of me that needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
Because everything else, man, is like
Your
dude, I
legs
stay
are
nice
big,
and cool.
man.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, last time I saw, I was like, "Fuck, you're a lot rounder than I remember you." There's a big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Man.
Did you hear his mindset also? You corrected yourself. You said like, if I win, when I win.
When I win.
That's what I gotta learn also.
Yeah. As silly as it sounds, it's like you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe your own hype.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're never gonna win. You're never gonna succeed. You know, I think in bodybuilding, that's the one thing that you really have to kind of. I think that it actually will play a good role in that.
Yeah. I'm bad at that because
like,
I don't mind training hard all year
Right.
and dieting, but then maybe like the last 2 weeks I get insecure.
Yes,
And
exactly.
like I lose it.
You lose that belief in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing for me. If we're gonna talk about it as well, is like, you know, the last couple shows, man, I just didn't believe in myself. You know, and it showed. It showed in what what I had on stage, and you know, it was like, yeah, it was just bad, man. So it's like now finally, I took this whole year to really just work on myself. Like I said, fall in love with training and get back to just fucking lifting some heavy, hard weight, you know, and getting after it, man. Like this is, like I said, this is the strongest that I've been ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's the most consistent that I've been as far as with my training and not letting up on it. And like I feel like my physique shows, man. This is the leanest that I've been at 122. Man, once it's go time, bro, it's game over, man. Seriously.
I like that. I like it.
No one's gonna beat me.
Exactly.
So just watch out.
How many calories are you eating a day?
I'm doing like average like 4 to 4,000, 4,500.
And you're growing on that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
Some days, but I eat more than that most days, though,
Okay,
to be honest.
okay, yeah.
Like, I'll track 4,000 and then I add whatever on top of it.
And it makes a cake. or
Exactly,
something.
exactly. You know, I'll have some of these, like, cinnamon rolls, and we had pizza last night.
Yeah.
You know, shit
Nice.
like that, man. Because, I mean, you know, I realized, like, if I want to grow, then I have to eat. And that was one thing that I never did before.
Yeah.
And now it's like, once I kick my calories up, I actually stabilize my weight more.
Yeah.
Where like before, eating so little, and then if I bumped it up even a little bit, like I would start getting fatter. So it's like, it actually really revved my metabolism up, which is great.
Okay, that's
Which is,
good.
as soon as contest prep rolls around, man, it's like now I'm primed for that shit.
Yeah.